What if one televised confrontation could expose a web of hidden agendas, send Hollywood into panic mode, and force the world's richest man to reveal his most startling secrets? That's precisely the question swirling around the unexpected feud between Elon Musk and Whoopi Goldberg. At first, it seemed like a random clash between two towering figures. One a visionary tech mogul, the other a celebrated entertainer. But as days turned into weeks, whispers of a massive cover-up and covert manipulation gave the conflict a life of its own. Suddenly, this wasn't just a spat between two celebrities. It became a lens focused on power, influence, and the risky terrain of free speech in a hyper-connected age. The spark that ignited it all. Elon Musk is no stranger to headlines. Whether he's launching rockets to orbit, toying with the future of electric cars, or teasing brain chip technology, his larger-than-life persona has become synonymous with disruption. But when he purchased Twitter, rebranded as X, the world took a collective breath. Musk promised to champion absolute free speech, removing many of the platform's prior limits and moderation strategies. Critics, however, fretted that it opened the floodgates for harmful or misleading content. Enter Whoopi Goldberg, an icon in her own right. Actress, comedian, talk show host, she's the kind of Hollywood powerhouse whose opinions carry real weight. During one of her segments, she shared pointed concerns about Musk's freewheeling approach. She wondered aloud if letting anything go on social media might give extremist or manipulative voices too much influence. While respectful, she made no secret of her fears that Musk's changes could be reckless. That's all it took to spark the initial friction. Musk quickly fired back online with vague barbs that some believed were directed at Goldberg. He talked about media elites trying to rein in voices they didn't like. Goldberg didn't name him explicitly in her criticisms, but everyone knew exactly whom she meant. Fans on both sides dug in their heels. Soon, the mild tension morphed into a public brawl, with supporters hurling hashtags and heated comments across platforms. Yet, for all the fuss, it still felt like typical Hollywood versus tech drama, until a cryptic rumor floated across Reddit, claiming there was far more at stake. That rumor suggested a bigger conspiracy, that someone in the entertainment industry was nudging Goldberg to attack Musk. Was there an agenda behind her statements, or was she simply speaking from the heart? No one knew, but that rumor lit the fuse, hinting there was something deeper, something that might end up dragging all of us into an extraordinary clash of influence. A brewing media inferno. Days after Goldberg's remarks, tabloids jumped on the story. Mainstream outlets followed. Before anyone realized it, a simple disagreement ballooned into a cultural moment. Musk's supporters slammed Goldberg's comments as fear-mongering. Goldberg's defenders saw her words as necessary caution in an increasingly polarized world. Ratings shot up whenever anyone mentioned them. Late-night hosts tried turning the feud into comedy. But beneath the jokes, a sense of real friction lingered. Then came the chatter about shadow forces. Anonymous accounts on X claimed they had inside intel. Big Hollywood players, even competing tech firms, supposedly wanted to see Musk's grand free speech experiment fail. Some alleged they were funneling resources into a PR campaign to smear Musk in the media. Naturally, the gossip pointed to Goldberg as a potential unwitting figurehead. Her criticisms carried significant public weight. Was it possible she was part of some cunning effort to erode Musk's reputation? Musk hints at a time bomb. Just when curiosity was at its peak, Elon Musk delivered a single electrifying post on X. "I have receipts. Lots of them." Nothing more. No details, no follow-up explanation. Instantly, the feud kicked into overdrive. Was he talking about internal emails from Hollywood studios? Financial records tying certain figures to manipulative PR firms? Or something else entirely, like personal correspondences that might implicate major names in secret deals? Social media went berserk. Memes circulated with pictures of Musk holding manila folders labeled "Top Secret" or "Whoopi Files." Others poked fun, suggesting that maybe Musk had receipts from Starbucks runs he did for Tesla employees. Despite the comedic spin, an undercurrent of real anxiety emerged. Gossip sites reported that certain producers, talk show teams, and even studio executives were scrambling to find out if they were implicated. Had they shared any conversation about Musk that might look incriminating? What if Musk dug up group emails or text threads complaining about him? Meanwhile, the question of Whoopi Goldberg's potential involvement hung in the air. Did she know anything about these receipts? Had she inadvertently become part of a broader scheme? Neither she nor her team rushed to clarify, which stoked rumors further. Some suspected her silence meant she was seeking legal counsel. Others thought she might just be ignoring Musk's provocation, hoping it would fizzle. But that one cryptic post planted a seed of doubt in everyone's mind. If Musk was telling the truth, the ensuing revelations could shatter reputations, spark lawsuits, and blow the lid off manipulative tactics the public rarely sees. If he was bluffing, however, it would be a spectacular miscalculation that might dent his own credibility. And as both camps braced themselves, none could predict what might erupt next. The sudden explosion of lawsuit rumors. It didn't take long for the phrase defamation lawsuit to start circulating. High-profile attorneys speculated on cable news about the possibility of Musk suing Whoopi Goldberg, or anyone else he believed had lied or conspired against him. From a purely legal standpoint, it seemed daunting. Proving defamation is a steep climb for public figures, and Musk would need to demonstrate actual malice or reckless disregard for the truth. But the more experts weighed in, the more the public fantasized about a fiery courtroom showdown. For Whoopi, the stakes seemed equally perilous. Although her show thrived on spirited debate, an actual lawsuit from someone as wealthy and well-connected as Musk was a different matter entirely. Sponsors started calling her production team, anxious to know if the show might be dragged into a protracted legal dispute. A hush fell around the set, with staff members refusing to answer questions about how Goldberg was handling the stress. Then, another bombshell landed. An anonymous tipster claimed Musk had already assembled a top-tier legal team. Their mission, allegedly, was to investigate every angle of negative press he'd received, searching for evidence of a coordinated smear campaign. If that proved true, the fallout could be epic. Possibly the lawsuit wouldn't focus solely on Whoopi, but might rope in other Hollywood personalities, media outlets, even rival tech CEOs rumored to be collaborating behind closed doors. Whoopi's defiance meets sponsor pressure. Amidst the intensifying storm, Whoopi Goldberg finally broke her silence in a televised interview. She looked resolute. Her voice was calm but firm. "I have every right to call out what I see as dangerous rhetoric. I'm not lying, conspiring, or playing anyone's game. I'm just telling it like it is." She refused to address Musk by name, which only fueled speculation. Was she trying to deprive him of public attention, or was this an effort to avoid inflaming the situation further? Observers noted that she seemed determined not to be cowed by the possibility of legal retribution. "I'm not about to apologize for calling something irresponsible, if that's what I believe it is," she declared. "Freedom of speech isn't a one-way street. If he can say what he wants, so can I." Suddenly, free speech became a double-edged sword. Goldberg insisted she was using her platform to safeguard public well-being. Sponsors had to look out for their bottom line, and Elon Musk's legion of supporters blasted them both, insisting truth should never be sacrificed for convenience or profit. All the while, the looming possibility of irrefutable evidence from Musk hovered like a thundercloud over their heads. The receipts emerge, and all hell breaks loose. Finally, the moment the world had been waiting for arrived. Late one evening, Musk posted a series of screenshots, labeling them Part 1. They appeared to be snippets of emails and messages, though names were heavily redacted. The content hinted at a conversation among individuals strategizing how to handle Musk's takeover of X. There were references to scheduling certain segments on daytime shows, ensuring a uniform message, and even allusions to using beloved media personalities for maximum impact. Within minutes, the internet went haywire. Could these messages be authentic? If so, who were the people behind them? Some entries mentioned a name starting with a W, which many took to be a veiled reference to Whoopi, though the letters weren't conclusive. One line read, "We can count on W to voice the ethical concerns. She resonates with the audience." In the eyes of Musk's fiercest loyalists, this was the smoking gun they'd been waiting for. Proof that Goldberg was part of a coordinated effort to paint Musk as dangerous. Yet questions piled up. The messages were redacted, so it was impossible to verify who wrote them, when they were sent, or what context they were meant for. Critics blasted Musk for fueling hysteria without providing hard evidence. Still, the screenshots trended worldwide, with number Whoopi exposed and number Musk reveals hitting the top of the chart. Goldberg's representatives quickly dismissed the posts as baseless and misleading, stating that she had never participated in any orchestrated smear campaign. They demanded Musk release full, unredacted versions of these so-called receipts. Musk responded with another tease. More drops coming. Stay tuned. And in that suspended moment, it felt like the entire media world was perched on a razor's edge, unsure whether the next revelation would bring clarity or deeper confusion. A threatened lawsuit, a haunting choice. With partial receipts out in the open, fresh calls for lawsuits erupted. Musk's camp hinted he might sue the individuals allegedly behind these emails. Goldberg's defenders floated the idea of her taking legal action if she'd been falsely implicated. Network lawyers and corporate sponsors now found themselves in a nightmare scenario. If the matter reached court, the drawn-out process could reveal confidential communications, top-to-bottom production memos, and any private deals made with high-profile talents. Media outlets scrambled to keep up. One primetime special compared the turmoil to a modern-day Watergate of Hollywood, though some viewers found the comparison overblown. Still, the drama was undeniable. If either side filed suit, depositions would force everyone, Goldberg, Musk, and potentially many others, into hours of sworn testimony. And if the incomplete documents Musk shared were any indication, the actual unredacted versions could be dynamite. Some wondered whether the threat of mutual destruction might push both parties toward a quiet settlement, no matter how passionately they'd sworn to stand their ground. Deeper accusations and a house of cards. At this juncture, a new bombshell overshadowed everything else. A second wave of receipts dropped from Musk's account, this time referencing specific production schedules and unnamed hosts who were allegedly briefed on how to steer conversations about him. While the blacked-out names kept speculation running wild, some lines clearly referenced major daytime shows that had run segments on Musk's management of X. The text implied a level of orchestration that alarmed even casual observers. Mentions of our messaging angle for the week, coordinated themes, and escalating narrative suggested systematic planning. Though Goldberg's name never appeared verbatim, the fan theories roared back to life. Perhaps her strong words on Musk's handling of online speech were carefully timed to coincide with these talking points. Her team again dismissed the leak as incomplete, citing heavy redactions and the possibility of staged documents. Without a full context and verified chain of custody, they argued, this is just online rumor. But the claims began piling up so fast that rational voices got drowned out. The public kept demanding the unredacted truth, while Musk teased that a final mega drop would clarify everything, though the date or contents remained ambiguous. Some watchers argued it was a classic tactic: drip out partial info to keep the hype going and the opposition on the defensive. Meanwhile, a sense of dread crept through the corridors of Hollywood. If more screenshots arrived implicating specific producers or directors, entire shows could be at risk. Sponsors, brand deals, partnerships, everything might unravel overnight. Especially if the dreaded lawsuit became real, forcing networks to hand over internal communications. In the face of that, some began calling the feud a house of cards scenario, where one definitive revelation could topple countless reputations in a single moment. The specter of legal showdowns. With tensions at a breaking point, Musk's circle allegedly approached a high-profile law firm to assess next steps. If the evidence in those redacted messages was strong enough to prove a targeted campaign, a defamation or tortious interference lawsuit might be on the table. Legal experts cautioned that victory wasn't guaranteed. Public figures face steep hurdles in defamation cases, but the concept still sent shockwaves across the media. If Musk sued, depositions would be excruciating for everyone, opening a Pandora's box of private communications. On the other side, sources close to Goldberg suggested she might file a suit of her own if Musk's partial leaks were proven fraudulent or deliberately misleading. Even a countersuit was possible if she believed he was harming her livelihood by painting her as a conspirator. The prospect of these dual lawsuits loomed like a massive thunderhead on the horizon. News outlets scrambled to bring in top legal minds. Some painted Musk as a visionary risking everything to defend his image against orchestrated takedowns. Others saw an egotistical billionaire using legal threats to bully a revered entertainer and stifle legitimate criticism. Goldberg remained firm, repeating that she'd done nothing wrong but share her perspective on the responsibilities that come with operating a global platform. The conversation took on almost epic proportions. Would Musk's quest for vindication trigger a war in the courts that might forcibly expose hidden Hollywood alliances? Or would the staggering costs and public relations nightmares of a lawsuit drive both sides to quietly settle? One factor seemed certain. The feud had reached a magnitude neither party likely anticipated at the outset, and the potential fallout was larger than any single show or technology firm. Conclusion. And that ultimately is the heart of this saga. What began as a dispute over social media freedom spiraled into a labyrinth of half-glimpsed alliances, hidden agendas, and potential lawsuits that could rock the foundations of both Hollywood and Silicon Valley. The feud revealed the immense power that celebrities, billionaires, and the platforms they wield can have over our collective understanding of reality. It tested the boundaries of free speech, pushing us to question whether certain forms of commentary cross the line from honest opinion into well-plotted character assassination, or conversely, whether stifling a critic can become just as damaging as any unscrupulous media campaign. Whether you side with Elon Musk's relentless pursuit of free speech or rally behind Whoopi Goldberg's emphasis on social responsibility, one thing's for sure: the forces swirling around them aren't going anywhere. So brace yourself. The question isn't if we'll see another collision between high-profile personalities and hidden powers, but when. For all we know, the next bombshell might drop tomorrow, and all of us will be left scrambling to decide what to believe.